Spring/Summer 2026 Fashion Month has officially wrapped, and honestly, I think it was one of the best seasons yet. There were so many collections that I think we'll be speaking about for years to come, and honestly, it's been so long since I've been very excited for new handbag releases. So in this video, I'm going to break down all of the bags that I think deserve the spotlight, as well as the handbag trends that we can see next spring/summer. Yes, it is a while from now, but truthfully, these handbags, I'm telling you, they're really, really good. Plus, I have saved the absolute best for last. I think this collection will be engraved in my brain for the rest of my existence. That's not even an exaggeration. It was that good. I loved it. So if you're a handbag lover, I think this video is going to be worth a watch, and also I think you're going to be in for a treat next spring/summer. I'm going to break down the video into sections based on the handbag. Let's start off with clutches. There were a lot of clutches in general, but I'm going to speak on 3 brands, one of them being Kate. Kate has had this Audrey clutch for a couple of seasons now, and it's been very prevalent within the spring/summer collection. The clutch down the Kate runway was very slim, very modern, very classic, but sometimes with a twist. You know, you have a pop of red or you have a pop of snake print. Classic, but also a little bit trendy. Schiaparelli, oh my word. Okay, enough said. I mean, Daniel Roseberry can do no wrong in my opinion, but this clutch down the runway is the hand clutch. It's almost like an extension of your hand in the classic gold Schiaparelli. This is an evening show-stopping piece. Like, if you were to see someone on the street or even on a night out wearing this, I mean, all eyes would be on this one clutch. Like, imagine going on the street wearing Schiaparelli and people not looking at you. The highly anticipated Louise Trotter debut at Bottega Veneta. Going off topic a little bit of the handbag to speak about the actual collection, I loved every second of it. I think Louise Trotter did an amazing debut. There was this jacket that looked like it was almost feather or fur, but it was actually fiberglass. It was truly, absolutely breathtaking. The details on the trench collars, the details on the jackets and the pants. I think when your eyes can gravitate towards every single piece of the outfit, that's how you know you have a spectacular outfit. Now, when it comes to the handbags, there were still a lot of clutches, a lot of pouches, which are very true to Bottega. There was this clutch called the Lauren clutch, which had this kiss lock, but it was a giant leather pouch. One clutch that really caught my eye was this fringe clutch. So it was just average rectangular, very long clutch with all this fringe falling from one of the sides. That is definitely a show-stopping piece, but there was a lot of fringe in general in this collection, which is one of the trends I do think we'll see in spring/summer, but whole other video for a different day. Those were the clutches that I think were really worthy of noting, but let's get into the shoulder bags next. Starting with Chloe. Now, I'm not much of a Chloe girl, but I loved this collection. After some deep digging, I was like, why did I like this collection so much? A lot of it reminded me of Saint Laurent, and if you're new here, Saint Laurent is my favorite fashion house. But the handbags, there was this balloon pouch in the leather, but also this beautiful floral leather pouch. All of the pouches had this gold chain to them that the models were carrying over their shoulders. And while my first impression wasn't, wow, I love this balloon-esque bag, I actually like it because it's a little outside the norm of what we typically see with shoulder bags. But what I loved even more was this 3D leather floral pouch. Same similar balloon design, but the outside was entirely of these 3D leather florals. But the details on this handbag, the florals aren't just embossed on the handbag, they're actually 3D-like. It almost looks like a bouquet of flowers in the best way possible. It's a complete 360 from my last video. In my last video, I spoke about how I was bored of all these brands re-releasing the same items that they did 20 years ago, specifically the Chloe Paddington lock bag. I basically called out how there was a lack of creativity and stressing where were the new designs. Well, we finally got one from Chloe, and it's a really good one, I think. It was a great collection overall, and honestly, I would love to get your thoughts. Let me know what you did and did not like about all the collections that I mentioned in this video. Jumping over to Prada, they had this structured, rectangular, almost east-west shoulder handbag. And I saw this handbag, and I thought immediately, oh my god, I love this handbag, and it's been a long time since I've loved a Prada handbag. Even though the handbag is definitely more on the classic minimal end, I think the way that it's designed really speaks to me. I really enjoy that the top flap goes in to close the handbag, versus if this handbag just had a classic zipper, I feel like it would be a very generic east-west handbag. Prada's little sister, Miu Miu. Now, I don't know if the Miu Miu collection was entirely me. I couldn't get behind the aprons, but that aside, there was this cargo handbag, and I loved it. It's a handbag for the on-the-go girl that needs to bring a lot of things with her, that wants a low-effort kind of handbag, while also still being trendy. I think this handbag will be very trendy come next season. Coach had this kiss lock barrel handbag. And I'll get into the trends a little bit later, but one of them will be this handbag specifically. This handbag is inspired by the 1973 Kiss Lock purse, but the Coach barrel handbag debuted in this velvety suede. Suede is also very much still going to be very in. And then of course the classic grainy leather that Coach is known for. Jonathan Anderson's debut at Dior, another very anticipated collection that I think was very, very good. There were some things that, you know, definitely weren't my cup of tea, like those bat hats. I think will forever live in my brain in not a good way. But the handbags, okay, because we're not talking about the collection, we're talking about the handbags. A bag that immediately caught my eye was a suede tote bag with the Dior hardware down the front. A nod to their vintage handbags that have the Dior down the front. I actually almost bought a handbag like this. If you love this Dior hardware down the front, you can get these on the pre-love market. Dior also had this Dior Cigale handbag. I love how the front is a little triangular with a little bow. I absolutely hate bows, but I love this handbag. From what we saw, it comes in a pink, a brown, and a black, I believe. I can see similarities between this handbag and the Lady Dior, specifically with the flap closure. A great top handle overall, and I think the fact that Jonathan Anderson is at Dior now, these handbags will have no issue selling. Now going to Loewe, there was the Amazona 180 handbag. I can't tell exactly by the size if it fits a laptop, but it does look like a pretty good work bag. Now the way that they were shown down the runway was very slouchy, open, very pickpocket-esque handbag, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. Then we have Pier Paolo's new Balenciaga. We are seeing the city bag come back. There was this Balenciaga city bag in this beautiful purple. I'm not even a fan of purple, but I loved it. It was this entire monochrome purple look. So those were all the top handles, but now I want to get into the stars of the show, the stars of the month, to be honest. Let's start off with the very anticipated Mathieu Blazy's debut at Chanel. Now this was a highly anticipated debut, but I think a lot of the focus was on the ready-to-wear and less so much of the handbags, because while the handbags were great, I think the ready-to-wear was much better. But the handbags that I think will do very, very well, one of them being this egg clutch. I mean, it literally looks like an egg. It's a white clutch. It is a staple, very great for weddings, very great for evening night outs. The handbag that I think a lot of people were talking about is the new 255. Essentially, it is a destroyed classic flap. To me, I think it looks like an art piece. Like, it looks like it is too delicate to even touch because of how destroyed it is. Honestly, I mean, you could just destroy your classic flap and call it a Chanel 255. And of course, we're going to see new things arise with new creative directors, especially at a brand like Chanel. And this is definitely very not what we're used to at Chanel, that's for sure. I think we're used to prim and proper classic tweed and just classic in general. And this is definitely not that. Is it my favorite handbag? No. Do I think it's going to perform well with the collectors? Yes, absolutely. If anything, I think it's more of a collector piece than it is wear out daily, you know. It's a perfect pickpocketer bag, let's just say that. There was this little Earth astrology clutch, which I think was absolutely beautiful, a very much collector piece. Chanel does very good at their collector pieces, and that is one of those pieces that I think you will have in your wardrobe for years. And, you know, 6 years down the line, you'll be like, wow, that is a piece. There were these extra large flaps in the engraved leather, as well as this very, very furry one. I don't know how I feel about the engraved leather one. It is a little bit on the more boring end, but you know what? Not in a bad way. The classic CC Messenger bag, Kendall Jenner was wearing the maroon one. That will sell no problem. Reminds me a lot of the vintage CC camera bag. There was also this shopping clutch. Definitely not my personal favorite. It kind of reminds me of an enlarged Chanel compact mirror. Kind of giving low effort, but you know what? To each their own. And that being said, I'm so excited for what's to come at Chanel. I think Chanel needed this. Chanel needed some new identity to them. And I'm excited for what's to come with the handbags, because I think we can go a little bit more above and beyond here. Let me know your thoughts on the Chanel collection. I'd love to know. Now, I told you I saved the best for last, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. The award that goes to the best handbags all season has to go to Fendi. As the collection debuted, people were talking, or at least online, about why the handbags or how the handbags were so good. Is this Sylvia's last collection? And lo and behold, it absolutely is, unfortunately. I'm a big fan, but she definitely is going off with a hit, that's for sure. Now let's start with the peekaboos, because the peekaboos were a star. Oh my word. There was this furry peekaboo. there was this leather peekaboo with a sequin inside. And while you may think, oh, you know, sequins in my peekaboo is going to be hella annoying, I would 100% agree, but I don't think the sequence is on both sides. I think it's only on the one side, and I think that one side you really would not be using. That's more of a show-stopping detail piece. Then you had this mesh peekaboo with these florals inside, the color blocking peekaboo, but it's a level of detail that went into this one handbag I think is insane. Then you had the Fendi pouch handbag, which had the beads as the handles. You had this Fendi pouch bag with the almost googly eyes, it reminds me of. The Fendi Mama baguettes with the string closure, those aren't anything new. We have seen those over the past year. I think last collection was very much on the Fendi Mama baguettes. This collection is very much on the Fendi peekaboo. These floral clutches that would be great for the day, but also great for the evening. And as I was watching this collection, I was like, what does this collection remind me of? And if you remember Groovy Girls as a kid, I'll insert some photos on the screen, but this collection reminded me exactly of Groovy Girls. Maybe less of the ready-to-wear and more of the handbags, but if you are, or if you were into Groovy Girls as a kid, I feel like this collection you would love. It's nostalgic, it's fun, and definitely not something that we typically have seen. This collection will forever live in my head, and I think it was a great final collection that Sylvia did. Now, as for the top handbag trends, I narrowed it down to 5 handbag trends that I think we'll see a lot of next spring summer. One of them being the barrel-esque handbags. The long rectangular barrel handbags we're going to see a lot of, and you know what, it's great because they definitely do fit a lot. If you have the Louis Vuitton, I forget the name actually, the Louis Vuitton barrel handbag, get that out. It's almost like the next iteration of East-West handbags. Instead of the rectangular East-West, we're now seeing the circular East-West. The next one I'm calling pickpocket bags. Bags that you can easily pickpocket your way through. Bags that are easily robbable. The Chanel 255 to be exact. But the overall slouchy handbags, the ones that you just threw on and your handbag's basically wide open as you leave. The easily pickpocket worthy handbag. The next one being clutches. Okay, we are no strangers to the clutch, and dare I say that clutches will never be, in my opinion, a trend. We're going to see definitely a lot of the handheld clutches throughout the spring summer. As we are now, nothing's changed. The next one being curved handbags. Now we are seeing these with Saint Laurent. We're also seeing this with Bottega Veneta. Down the Bottega Veneta runway, they were actually holding it upside down, which I thought was very interesting. But they are basically these curved top handle handbags. Very almost casual day bags, but you can also wear in the night if you wanted to. Almost has a little bit of a pillow effect to them as well. This I think is a very fun casual handbag. And the last trend being mesh handbags. We are absolutely no strangers to the mesh handbag in the spring summer months. This is a spring summer handbag, and if you didn't want to go down the raffia or rattan route when it comes to your beach bag, why don't you try out the mesh handbag? But I think we'll be seeing a lot more mesh in the next couple months. Those are all the handbags that I think are worthy of knowing about for the spring summer months. Now let me tell you, I'm so excited for the next couple months ahead. It's been a long time coming since I've been excited for bag releases. Let me know in the comments what were your favorite handbags or your favorite collections that you saw over Fashion Month. What are you excited about? What did you not like? Let me know. I would love to discuss with you. I'm going to leave you guys here with another video recommendation in case you want to watch more, and I will see you guys in next Sunday's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have the utmost fabulous day ahead. Bye guys.